Hi, and welcome to Fun Maths with Kenny. This is the GCSE Non-Calculator Ed Excel Foundation paper. I got this paper from Maths Genie. If you haven't gone to their website for resources preparation, please do, because they have amazing past questions, everything you need to prepare and do well in the exam. So thank you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'm a maths teacher that always been helping students with their preparation for exams, and this video will help you as well. Thank you very much. All right, we start with question one. So this is 2024, okay? 2024 Ed Excel Foundation. All right, so let's start with question one. We're ready? Let's go. 0.9 as a fraction. So this adds one number after the point, and that will give you 9/10. When it adds one number after the point, just make it over 10. If there are two numbers after the point, it will be over 100. Okay, so 0.9 is 9/10. The way 0.2 is 2/10. Let's go to question two. Change 45 centimeters to millimeters. Now, centimeters is 10 times bigger than millimeters. So if you're going from centimeters to millimeters, you just times 10. Okay? To millimeters, you times 10. The other way around will be divide by 10. From millimeters to centimeters, small to big, divide by 10. I always tell my students, if you're going from big to small, multiply, small to big, divide. So centimeters to millimeters, big to small, you multiply by 10. So 45 times 10, just add a zero. I think most of you can do this. And this is 450 millimeters. Also, let me just mention, if you're going from kilometers to meters, you times 1000, okay? Meters to centimeters, you times 100. It's good you know all that so that any of the questions they give you, you can easily solve. Let's go to question three. 5 times 8 times 2. Multiply the numbers, add the letter. So the numbers are 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Then you have A, so you just add the A, and this is 10A. We go to question four. Work out 1/6 of 300. Now, most of you know already that off means times. And when you're dealing with multiplication of fractions, up times up, divide by down. 1 times 300 will give you 300, and 300 divide by 6, that will give you 50. So the answer to that is 50. We proceed to the next question. Okay, this is bar chart. 30 children were asked, okay, so you need to get for football. I'm just going to skip this question, okay, so that we can focus on the ones that are really tough because most of my students can do this. Yeah, you just pick football, count the number, put it there, then draw the bar chart. All right, so permits me to skip that. All right, we go to question six. Yes, this is likely going to be out because every year we keep seeing midpoint questions. Plot the points with the coordinates 2, 3. So x is 2, y is 3. Remember, this is the x-axis, okay? That's a horizontal line, and the vertical line is a y-axis. So x is 2, that's where x goes up to meet y as 3. So this is a point. X is 2, y is 3. So label this A. So A is definitely here, 2, 3. Then write the coordinates of the midpoint BC. So two ways, you can either look at it, oh, where's the midpoint? You can just, look at midpoint is halfway. So like this, you can just say halfway, and that will give you 0, 1. So the midpoint is x is 0 and y is 1. You can put that in the bracket. Midpoint is simply halfway through. Then draw a line with the equation y equals -3. When they give you this, all you need to do is go to where y is -3, use your ruler and draw a straight line. So y is -3 somewhere here, okay? Use your ruler and draw a straight line right there. Okay, so that's a line. Then don't forget to label y is equal to -3. That's a line. Okay, we proceed to the next one. Question 7. Okay, how do we solve this question? Okay, well, question 7. Find the value of x. Now, these two meet at a point. Angle at a point is equal to 360 degrees. So 85 and x add up to give 360 degrees. How do you get x? Just do 360 minus 85. Okay. And when you do that, let's see. So 10 take away 5 is 5. Then you've got 15 there, and that is 7. Okay, 15 minus 8 is 7. And then you have 2 here. And this is 275 degrees. Yes. And the reason for your answer is angle at a point is equal to 360 degrees. That's a perfect reason. Okay, we go to question 8. A total of 1,400 tickets were on sale. 819 were sold. How many were not sold? You're just going to do subtraction. Most of you can do this. 1,400 minus 819. That will give you 581. That easy. We move to the next one, question 9. Okay, I and I. A equals 3b minus 2c. Work out the value of A when B is 6 and C is equal to 2. So A is 3b minus 2c. Now, 3b in math simply means 3 times b. Okay, so that is 3 times 6, not 36. So you're going to multiply. 3 times 6 minus 2 times c. C is 2. So where you see c, you put 2. So 3 times 6 is 18. 2 times 2 is 4. 18 minus 4, and that will give you 14. Then we have a second question. Work out the value of A when B is negative 3 and C is 4. So the same formula, okay? 3B minus 2C. So when B is negative 3, you're going to put it there. So that will be 3 multiplied by negative 3, okay? And then minus 2C, that's 2 times 4. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So negative 9, negative 8 is negative 17. Anytime you're adding in negatives, let's say you have negative 1, negative 5. Okay, 2 negative numbers. You add them together in negative. 5 and 1 is 6, and that will give you negative 6. It's only when you're multiplying. If there was a bracket, okay, it could become, it's going to be positive because negative times negative, okay, will be positive. Then 9 times 8 is 72. But when there is no brackets, just go ahead and add them in negatives. As easy as that. Okay, we have one last part of this question that says, work out the value of B when A is 11 and C is 5. A is 11 and C is 5. So where you have A, permit me to solve it here. You put 11 equals C is 5. Okay, so that's 3B minus C is 5. So 2 times 5, that's simply 10. So we're solving this right here. And how do you do that? When negative 10 goes to the left, we talk about collecting like terms. Put the numbers together and the one with the letter on the other side. So negative 10 goes to meet positive 11. It becomes positive. Okay, when the sign goes to the other side, it changes. So 11 plus 10 is 21. 21 is equal to 3B, and B is equal to 7. Okay, 3 times 7 is 21. So in this case, B is equal to 7. Let me put it there. B is equal to 7. I hope you understand. If you don't get any question, you can take the video back, okay, and get it. Okay, we move to question 10. Write down the scale factor of enlargement. So you go from this shape, okay, this is A and this is B. Enlargement means by how many times was it increased. And how do you know? Very easy to know. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this was 4 and this is 12. All right. So 4 times what is going to give you 12? That's 4 times 3. So 4 times 3 will give you 12. Then if you like, you can count this side. This is 2 and this is going to be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is 2 and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is 6 and this is 2. So 2 times what is 6? 2 times 3 is 6. That means the scale factor is 3. Okay. So it was enlarged by on the grid. Okay. So the scale factor is 3. Then on the grid, mark with a cross, okay, the center of enlargement. When you look at the center of enlargement, that means the point where they all meet at a particular point. So if you look at it, if you draw this, you can always use a ruler, please. And then this one meets here. So all of them, they're going to meet at this point. Okay, so you can draw the X here. The X is right here. So the center is the point where they're all going to meet, which is that point. Okay, we go to the... All right, so here we have a parallelogram and they say reflect. So the first thing you do is you draw the line that goes through the origin, y equals x. Then this is a reflection. Okay, you just try to draw with a ruler, something like this, that shows the reflection. Okay, we go to question 11. There are 32 cubes in a bag, 10 are red, 13 are blue, and the rest are green. Write down the probability that you have a green. So how many a green cube? How many green cubes are there? You add 10 plus 13, okay, which is 23. Take away from 32. 32 minus 23. And that will give us 9. So we have 9 green cubes. What's the probability of having a green cube? Is going to be 9 over the total. Okay, 9 over 32. The probability that the cube is not red. So if the cube is not red, it can be blue or green. Okay, so if it is blue or green, add the blue and the green together. That means they're not red. So 13 plus 9 is 22. And that will give you 22 out of the total, which is 22 over 32. If you like, you can simplify. Then what's the probability that the cube is yellow? Okay, let's check. Red, blue, green. No yellow cube. So there's no yellow cube. That means the probability is 0. Okay, so that is it. We move to the next one. All right. In a company, company A has 98 full-time workers and 70 part-time workers. In company B, 712 of the workers are full-time and the rest are part-time. Show that the ratio of full-time to part-time is the same. Okay, so for company A now, the ratio of the full-time to the part-time, full-time is 98 and part-time workers, they are 70. So let's try to put them in the lowest 10. What can divide? 7 can divide. So 7 here is 10. 7 in 9, that's 1. You have 2 remaining. 7 in 28, that gives you 4. You can use 2 again to simplify. So 2 here 7 and 2 here 5. So in company A, we have 7 to 5. Okay. Now, company B, 712 are full-time workers and the rest are part-time workers. Remember, in fraction, we use 1 to represent everything. So all of the company workers are 1. Now, 712 are full-time. Okay, that means the rest is going to be 1, take away 712. And remember, that 1 is 12 twelfths. All right. One can be same number up, same number down. So 12 twelfths minus 7 12, and that will give us 5 12. That means 512 of the workers in B are part-time workers. So what's the ratio of the full-time to the part-time in company B? So you're going to do 712 ratio, okay, 512. Now, ratio is division. In fact, the fact that you see 12 here, 12 here, they're going to divide. And you're left with 7 ratio 5, which is the same as 7 to 5 as what we had in the first one. So this is a proof that they are the same. And if you want to show more, you can actually do the division. You can say 7 over 12 times 12 over 5. Okay, ratio is division. So when you do that, you just divide the 12. That's 7 over 5, which is still 7 ratio 5. I hope that is clear. We go to question 13. Work out an estimate for 91 times 1.73. So 91 is approximately 90. 1.73 is approximately 2. 90 times 2 is 180. Then we go to the next one. Given that this and this is this, okay, find the value of this. So for the first one, for 3.14 to become 314, they must have done times 100. Okay, let me take it up. So you must have done times 100 to 3.14 to get 314. And then for 1.6 to become 0.16, they must have done divide by 10. Divide by 10 means you move left one time. Okay, so when you multiply by 100 and divide by 10, what is going to remain? You know, multiply by 100 is times 10 times 10. And then divide by 10 and multiply by 10 one time will cancel each other, okay, and then you're left with 10. Or you do 100, 10 times 10 is 100, divided by 10, that will give you 10. Okay, so what it means is that your answer, okay, is going to be multiplied by 10. So 5.024 times 10 means go to the right one time, and that will give you 50.24 as the answer. Okay, we move to the next one. Question 14. Please watch this question well. Okay, we keep saying more questions like this. Gary wants to make 50 muffins. How much sugar does Gary need? So the number you want to make can be related to what you're given. So they give you for 20 and they're asking for 50. So you're going to get for 20, another 20, then another 10 to make 50. Okay, sometimes they give you for 20 and they're asking for 30. So you're going to get in that case for 20 and then for 10. Okay, like that. So you just follow the pattern. So for 50 means for 20, then for 10. So how much sugar for 20? That's for 20 is 250. For another 20, that's 250. Then for 10, you know, 10 is half of 20. Okay, so for 20 is 250. Then for 10, you divide the one for 20 by 2. 250 divided by 2 is 125. So add them together. 250 plus 250 is 500 plus 125 is 625 grams. Okay, let's go to the next one. Phil is buying a boat. The boat costs 18,000. He pays 20% of the cost as a deposit. He pays the rest in 20 installments. How much is each monthly payment? Okay, fine. So he pays 20% as a deposit. Okay, how much is left? Now everything is 100%. So if he pays 20% right now, what percentage is remaining? 100 minus 20, okay, which is 80%. So there's 80% remaining to be paid. Now, how much is the 80%? You need to get 80% of 18,000 pounds. And how do you do that? Remember the easy way from the last video. If you have not watched the last videos, please check my channel. Okay, Fun Maths with Kenny. There are other videos there that can also help you. So how do we get 80%? 80%, get 10% first. 10% of a number means divide by 10, right? So 18,000 divided by 10. That will give you 1,800 for 10%. So we need 80%. 80% is 8 times of 10%. So we know 10% is 1,800. 80%, let's multiply by 8. Okay, and then we get it. So this is 0, this is 0. 8 times 8 is 64. 4 carries 6, and 8 times 1 is 6 plus 8 times 1 is 8 rather, plus 6. That will give you 14. So this is 14,400 for the 80%. Now, is sharing it into 20 monthly installments. What do you do with the 14,400? You're going to divide it by 20, okay? When you're dividing by 20, 1 0 up divides 1 0 down. Then you have 2 to divide. 2 in 14 is 7. 2 divided by 4 is 2. And 2 here is 0. That gives you 720 pounds. I hope you understand the whole idea. 100%, then you subtract 80%. After getting for 80%, you divide by 20. It's quite easy. Okay, we get to the next one. Yes, take note of this question as well. Very important. The perimeter is 62. Work out the length. Now, what is perimeter? Perimeter means all around a shape. You have a shape, all around it is perimeter. So when you add x plus 5 plus 2x plus 3 plus 2x minus 1, all of them added together, which is a perimeter, we give you 62. And then we want to find x. So what do? Add the numbers alone, then add the letters alone. So let's start with the letters. X plus 2x is 3x. 3x plus 2x is 5x. So this is 5x. Then let's come to the numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So 5x plus 7 is equal to 62. What do we do next? 5x is equal to, collect like terms. When plus 7 goes to the other side, it becomes minus 7. Remember, positive crosses to the other side becomes negative. So from here, 5x is equal to 55. Then what do? Divide by 5. Divide by 5. And then x is 11. Good. So once you know x as 11, you can easily get the length of AB. So this is AB, 2x plus 3. 2x means 2 times x. We know x as 11. So 2 times 11 plus 3. So 2 times 11 is 22. 22 plus 3 is 25. So that simply means that length AB is 25 centimeters. I hope you understand. Okay, we proceed to the next question. Okay, 95 people bought raffle tickets. Okay, then this is very interesting. So 95 is a total. Now 18 out of 42 men. So men are 42. Women will be 95 minus 42, which is clearly 53 here. So women are 53. Then they said 18 out of 42 won a prize. So if 18 won a prize, how many did not? 42 minus 18, which will give you 24 here. Then they said 23 of the women won a prize. So if 23 women won a prize, how many did not win a prize? You clearly subtract. So 53 minus 23, that will give you 30. Okay, and this is a increase 320 by 15%. Remember, just break it down. 15% is 10% plus 5%. And don't forget, 10% of a number means the number divided by 10. So we're dealing with 320. So 320 divided by 10 is 32. So 10% is 32. Then how do we get 5%? 5% is half of 10%. So if 10% is 32, 5% will be 32 divided by 2, which clearly is 16. Okay, So this added together gives you 48. That means you're going to increase 320 by 48. Increase means add. So don't forget to do the addition. 320 plus 48, and that will give you 368. Yeah, this is 2. Yes. So the answer is 368. Just like that. All right, so we go to the next one. The question, let's see what it says. 5.92 divided by 0.16. So 5.92 divided by 0.16. When you're dividing, this is a non-calculator paper, so you have to do it manually. What do? Move 1 2 up, you move 1 2 down. Moving 1 2 means you're multiplying by 100, so you get rid of the point. Okay, dividing with the point can be cumbersome. So if we multiply by 100, the points will go, and then we have 592 divided by 16. Okay, most of you can divide this 16 in 59. That will simply give you 3, which is 48. So when you subtract, you have 112, 16 there, that will give you 7, and the answer is 37. We proceed to the next question. 324 as a product of, so you just have to find out. You can start factorizing. Okay, 324. Then you can, okay, 2 can divide. Okay, when you divide by 2, this is 1, and this is 6, and this is 2. Then use 2 again. This divide is 81. Use 3 can divide 81, you get 27. 3 can divide 27, that gives you 9. Then 3 divide, that will give you 3, and 3 divide, that will give you 1. So you can say that your answer is 2 to the power of 2 multiplied by, this is times, please, 3 to the power of 4. 2 2 places, and 3 4 places. That's that. Okay, we go to this question. 2 2/3 plus 1 to give you answer as a mixed number. So we're familiar with these. Add the whole number. 2 plus 1 is 3 whole number. Then make the denominators the same. Okay, make the denominators the same. So like in this case, you have, so you want to make them 15. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15. So you can do times 5 times 5. So that's 10 over 15. Then on the other side, you have 3 over 5. So look at the denominator. 5 times 3 will give you 15. So you do times 3, and that is 9 over 15. So this is 3 whole number, 19 over 15. Now you cannot leave your answer as that. Okay, that would be improper. So change 19 over 15 to a mixed number. That's 1 whole number, remainder 4 over 15. So what do? You add the 1 to 3. So 3 plus 1 will give you 4 whole number, remainder 4 over 15. And that is the answer. Sorry, this is part of the question here. Okay, not the next one. Work out this. When you're dividing fractions, keep change flip. So 2/3 times, division will change to times, then you flip the 3/4 on the right. So when you flip 3/4, it becomes 4 over 3. Okay, so 2 times 4, up times up over down times down. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 3 is 9, and that gives you 8 over 9. Okay, let's come to 22. Work out the value of this question. 5 to the, when you have the same base, you add the powers. So you have 5 to the power of -3 and 5 to the power of 7. You add the powers together. Okay, so -3 plus 7 is 4. When you turn it around, you have -3 plus 7. Turn it around to be 7 minus 3, that's 4. Divide by 5. 5 is 5 to the power of 1. So you have 5 to the power of 4 over 5 to the power of 1. When you have the same base with division you subtract. With multiplication, you add. With division, you subtract. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And this is 5 to the power of 3 because 4 minus 1 is 3. So how do you do 5 to the power of 3? That's 5 times 5 times 5. Not 5 times 3. 5 times itself 3 places. So 5 times 5 times 5. That gives you 125 because 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 1 to 5. Okay, we move to the next question. Tracy writes down the numbers A to B to C, okay? And then we have this, and this question is quite familiar, okay? So you have A to B as 3 to 5, and A to C as 4 to 7. Now you need to make A the same. You can see we have a different value for A here and a different value for A here. So we need to make A the same. And how do you do that? What number can, 3 and 4 become? The least common multiple. It is 12. So how does A become 12 here and A become 12 here? If you multiply 4 by 3 and you multiply 3 by 4, you will get 12, right? So that means on this side, you do times 4 times 4, whatever you do on the left, you do on the right. And on this side, you do times 3 times 3, so that the value for A will be the same. So 5 times 4 is 20, okay, because 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, and 7 times 3 is 21. So you have to write in the answer space. So because A is 12 here, A is 12 here, we can say A ratio B ratio C is simply going to be A is 12. We pick one of the 12. B is 20. And C is 21. So 12 to 20 to 21. You have to make, the A the same. Then the next one, D equals 2E. And F equals 3D. So how do we do that? So D is equal to 2E. So where you have E in the first one, where you have D, you can just put 2E. And then F is equal to 3D. So if F is equal to 3D and D is 2E, so that will give you D is going to be 3 times 2E, which is 6E. Okay, so that means that F is 6E. So by the time you simplify, E will divide E will divide E, and you have one left here. So this is E to D to F is 1 to 2 to 6. I hope you get it. 1 to 2 to 6 will be the answer. Okay, we proceed to the next one. The diagram shows a cuboid. The height is 3. The volume is 21. The pressure is this. Okay, anytime they give you volume and height, just know that volume is the area times height. So if they give you volume and they give you height, you need to get the area by dividing the volume by the height. So 21 divided by 3, that will give you 7. So the area is 7. Okay, so if area is 7, then they gave you the formula already. Pressure is force over area. So we know the pressure is 25. All right, and then force, let me scroll down. Force we are looking for, and then area is 7. So 25 is equal to F over 7. You can cross multiply. So F will be 25 times 7. And 25 times 7 is 175 newtons. Okay, 175, and that's it. Then question 5. In a bag, there are counters. They are either all red, blue, or yellow. Red to blue to yellow is this. Now, the number of yellow is 24 more than the number of blue. How do you get the yellow counters? Remember, this is 4 to 5 to 8. So how do you get the yellow counters? Normally, if you want to solve ratio problem, you take the particular ratio of yellow, which is 8. You want to share for yellow 8 over the total ratio. So total ratio means add the ratios together. And in adding the ratios together, 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. So 8 over 17 of the total we don't know is X. So if you're going to get for yellow, this is it. The number for yellow is 8. The total ratio is 17. And what you're sharing is X. They now said the number for yellow is 24 more. Is means equals. 24 more means 24 plus the number for blue. So blue was 5. 5 out of, if you want to get for blue, you take 5 over 17 multiply by the total, which is X. I hope you understand. If you didn't get it, you can just take back the video a little bit, and watch again. Remember, what we did was the number for yellow, okay, was 8 for yellow. The total ratio is 17. Let's say the total is X. Is equal to 24 more than is addition. The number of blue, and blue is 5 over 17X. So now you collect like terms as well. This is 8X over 17. When plus 5 over 17 goes there, it becomes negative. Minus 5X over 17 is equal to 24. So how do we solve this? They are like fractions. 8 minus 5 is 3. So 3X over 17 is equal to 24. 3X over 17 is equal to 24. You can just cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, 3X is equal to 17 times 24. 3X is equal to 17 times 24. So you can do over 3 over 3. And X will be 3 in 24 is 8. So X will be 17 times 8, which is 136. So the total number of counters in the bag is 136. Take note, there are other methods as well. Okay. All right. We go to the next one. ABC is a triangle. These are straight lines. So what do? Take note of your corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are usually called F angles. Anytime you can make an F like this, that means 59 and these are the same. Okay, so 59 is corresponding to this one. So they are the same. And you can also get this with using a straight angle. A straight angle has 180 degrees. Sum of angles on a straight line is 180. So 180 minus 122 over there, that will give us 58. Okay, so that angle is 58. Then they're asking for CAB, which is this angle. Sum of angles in a triangle is 180. So if you're considering triangle AED, the three angles, this, and this add up to 180. So what do? Add 58 plus 59, then take away, that's you now take away from 180 degrees. So 58 plus 59 is 117. So 117 from 180. So 180 minus 117 is 63 degrees. So that means that your answer is 63 degrees. Give a reason for each stage of your answer. For each stage of your answer. The first stage was corresponding angles. 59 was corresponding to angle CBD. Okay. Then angles on a straight line. Sum of angles on a straight line is 180. And that's how we go AED. Then sum of angles in the triangle is also 180 degrees. And that was the final step to get the last answer at 63 degrees. Okay, so for this question, 3a plus b. This is easy. 3a means for each thing we have in a, multiply by 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. Then, so you have this plus b. b is just negative 1 and 5. So 3a plus b, that will be 9 plus negative 1 is 8. And 6 plus 5 is 11. And this will give you 8, 11 as your answer. Okay, that is all. Thank you so much for watching Fun Maths with Kenny. It was nice having you here. Please check other videos on this channel that has to do with the GCSE exam. Okay, remember, you can do it. You just need to practice, work out some steps, and everything will be fine. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe so that we can be encouraged to post more videos. And thank you if you have subscribed already. Thank you. Please like this video. Let me know what you think. You can send your comments. Okay. If you have a topic in math you want us to explain to you, you can also send. They would do just that. Thank you again. See you in the next video. Bye.
Like and subscribe for more fun math videos at Fun Math with Kenny. Thanks for watching.